ASMR. Hey everybody, this video is really long. I do not expect any of you to watch the entire thing, but I hope that some of you might find it relaxing enough to sleep to or something. Bye. Hey everybody, I have tried to make this video so many times since Friday. It's been a bit, I was kind of feeling anxious for a while. I can't really explain why, because I don't know. Didn't feel like making, like, on-camera videos and stuff, but trying to get back to it here. I think I'm looking in the right spot. So anyway, Miss Parchman's World has tagged me in the Things That Make You Laugh challenge. Well, it's not a challenge, but Things That Make You Laugh tag. And I thought that's really fun, you know. Like Miss Parchman, I'm kind of goofy. I like funny things. I like really stupid things, actually, that are funny, but, well, they're funny to me. And I thought it'd be really easy. Then I sat down and tried to compile a list of things that I thought were really funny. And it's kind of an epic fail. Some of the things, as I'm writing them down and thinking, how am I going to explain this? I realized that they just sound kind of stupid. And I'm like, okay, I think this is funny. But trying to explain why I think this is funny is difficult. But I'm gonna do it anyway. I even tried to ask my sister about things that she knew from our childhood that we thought were really funny, but she named the same things I did and then was like, crap, I can't think of anything. So okay. So, keeping in mind that a lot of this stuff is like from my childhood to now, so I might still think some of this is funny, and some of it I might have just thought was funny back then, but I'm not going to tell you which. So in 1993, a movie version of Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing came out, and it had Emma Thompson, Keanu Reeves, Denzel Washington, Michael Keaton, Kate Beckinsale, Robert Sean Leonard, or is it Leonard? I'm not sure. The guy from House that played Wilson. And Kenneth, I never say his last name right. Brannigan. I don't know. But he was married to Emma Thompson around that time, I think. And then he got with Helena Bonham Carter before Tim Burton did. I guess that's really besides the point, but so yeah, it was Shakespeare's Much Ado About Nothing, and Michael Keaton had a really small role, but for me, it was at like 12, 13 years old, it was one of those VHS moments where I rewound the scene like over and over again because it cracked me up. When he's first introduced into the scene and he has a very small role, I believe he's like the head of the guard, night watch, there we go, the head of the night watch, and he and his people come galloping into the scene, but they're not on horses, they're just pretending they're on horses, galloping their legs with like all of these jingly things attached to them. And, you know, they muster, or whatever, I don't know. They stand together and he does like a pep talk or a speech. And as he's giving his pep talk, he starts to bore himself to sleep. And everyone's looking at him like, and then all of a sudden he farts really loud and scares himself awake. And it was just so stupid and ridiculous that I rewound it over and over and over again. When I was in 7th grade in like 1994 or something like that, my sister was in kindergarten, and there was this TV show on Nick Jr. called Gullah Gullah Island. Some of you might remember it. And there was a chubby ranger on there who he kind of looked like if Flanders from The Simpsons was chubby and was a park ranger. You know, he had this very soft southern accent. Well, there was this one episode that my sister and I rewound this scene over and over again, and we just cracked up. It was chubby Ranger Mike kind of basically doing like a Carlton dance from The Fresh Prince to a song with the lyrics, "Dance any way you wanna, dance any way you feel." And again, it's hard to explain this stuff to you guys because, like, it was funny to us at the time, you know, but it kind of sounds stupid when you say it out loud. I don't remember what year it was, but there's a movie called 9 Months, starring Julianne Moore and Hugh Grant. And basically Hugh Grant is kind of a committophobe. You know, he's not ready to commit to get married. He doesn't think he wants kids. He thinks kids are kind of gross. And then they find out that Julianne Moore is pregnant. And the whole movie kind of revolves around his reaction to it and, you know, him being a jerk about certain things and having to grow up. But I saw it at the movie theater with my mom, and the labor scene, if I'm remembering it right, it was like a full moon or something, and it seems like everybody is giving birth at once, and the only doctor on call was Robin Williams, who they had not wanted as their doctor, but they had to deal with it. And it was like hilarity ensued, and it was just so funny. I think my mom almost peed her pants. I'm not sure if I'm getting the details exactly right because, you know, there's so many movies and TV shows where when the wife goes into labor, like it's a full moon and everybody's in labor, so. But yeah, that scene was really funny. Let's see. I really like stupid humor movies, like either parody movies or stupid obvious humor, and not everybody likes stupid obvious humor. In fact, a lot of people don't. Like Mel Brooks type humor, like Young Frankenstein or Frankenstein if you want, Spaceballs, Blazing Saddles, Monty Python type stuff. I loved Wet Hot American Summer, and the sequel and prequel that they had to it on Netflix. You know, it's really stupid, obvious humor. I don't think I've cared for any of the more recent parody movies. I can't remember if I liked any of the scary movies. I don't know, I might have liked the first and second one, but I can't remember. But pretty much in the early 2000s, I haven't really liked any parody type movies since then. I like the Naked Gun movies. I'm trying to think. I can't think of any more offhand, but they're that type of humor. I know that a lot of people don't like that stuff. My husband, he likes some movies like that, but like, I made him watch Wet Hot American Summer, which is basically, it's a movie that parodies summer camp, and it's parodying, if that's a word, a Jewish camp, because the director of the movie, I think it was the director, had gone to Jewish camp, I think in Maine, when he grew up. So it was kind of just overly making fun of camp. I always loved it when, I got a kick out of when Carlton would dance in Fresh Prince. I love The Office, 30 Rock, Parks and Rec. Let's see. I really loved anything that had to do with Pee Wee Herman. You know, I know Paul Rubin, who played Pee Wee Herman, you know, had his little issue in public, but I don't think about it. But I loved Pee Wee's Playhouse. I loved Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and I don't know if you heard that, my cat just meowed. And I didn't love, but I liked Big Top Pee Wee. I liked in Big Top Pee Wee that they had so many random people in there. I never say his name right. Benicio del Toro, I don't know. He played the Wolf Boy. I loved Pee Wee's Big Adventure. You've got Pee Wee at the beginning, who has set up this machine that does, it cooks him this huge breakfast of, like, I believe there's pancakes, bacon, eggs, all kinds of stuff, and then he pours, like, practically the whole box of Mr. T cereal on his plate, and you've just spent, like, a bunch of minutes watching the machine work, you know, the egg rolling down and being cracked, and just like it's stirring the pancake mix and making this breakfast. It went through all this trouble, and he takes 2 bites of it with this huge spoon and is like, I'm done, you know. And then I think his dog's name is Speck instead of Spot. You've got Francis, who not only played, I don't know if it was Chubby or Chubbs in the Teen Wolf movies, but like he's taking a bath in a swimming pool. Either that or his bathtub is the size of a swimming pool. I thought that was the coolest thing. And that was like one of the funniest things to me, was seeing him take a bath. You've got Dottie, who is the voice of Tommy Pickles on the Rugrats. You've got Tina at the Alamo, who informs everyone that there's no basement at the Alamo. And may the actress rest in peace. She died a few years ago. She was also in like the final couple seasons of Designing Women. I thought the hobo was really funny in that movie. Oh, the funniest, weirdest thing in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, other than when Pee-wee dresses up like a woman and is riding along in a car with Mickey the Convict, is Large Marge. Now, Large Marge, that scene always scared the heck out of me as a kid, but in recent years, you know, the power of the internet, someone finally took a screenshot of Large Marge's little memorial plaque. Now, those of you who've seen Pee-wee's Big Adventure will remember that she looked like she was like in her like 60s or something. According to the plaque, the woman died at like age 35 or something like that. I was like, what? Is that intentional? Was that a mistake? So, that's interesting. I really like 70s TV shows. I really liked the TV show Good Times. You know, they dealt with a lot of serious topics like racism and poverty and death and alcoholism and things like that, and gangs and shootings, but you know, they did it, well, not those parts, but you know, there was a lot of humor in that show. You know, little Michael was so sarcastic, and JJ was goofy. Thelma had really good insults for him. Miss Parchman talked about James, the father, about how funny he was, and it's true. Like, he was a very proud and strict man, but he was hilarious. And he really loved his family, even though he was very, you know, strict, and like he had kind of a hair trigger temper. He was still like a really loving man, and just the way he talked to JJ sometimes. Then you had Willoma, who was, I believe, played by Janet Dubois, and I think she and possibly the actor that played JJ sang the theme song. I know that at least she did. And the interesting thing about the theme song, I thought it was really good because it kind of reflected why I like the show. You know, they were a really poverty-stricken family, but you know, they tried to see the good in it and have a sense of humor. Like, they had a really good sense of humor. And the theme song is basically talking about bad times, but saying they're good. Um, a character actress that I really liked hopped around to all the different 70s and 80s TV shows. And that was Chip Fields. And she played, I don't know if she played more than one role on Good Times or not, but back then, kind of like with the westerns, they tended to use the same character, actor, or actress for different roles throughout the series run, and just assume we wouldn't notice or care. But probably most well known on Good Times for playing Janet Jackson's abusive mother. And then on another 70s TV show that I really liked called What's Happening, she played a couple different roles. The one I remember the most was once or twice she played, actually, I'm pretty sure, I'll have to look this up. I was pretty sure that she played Rerun's sister. But then later, I thought that she played Shirley's sister. I don't know, I'll have to look it up. It might have just been Rerun's sister. But in real life, Chip Fields is the mother of Kim Fields, who played Tootie on The Facts of Life. And she actually played Tootie's mom on The Facts of Life. So they got to play mother and daughter on that show. The Facts of Life was another show that I really liked. Let's see. Another 70s. Actually, you know what? Random. Kim Fields' sister. I gotta look this up real quick here, because I didn't realize this until recently. But I can't remember her name. See if it lists her kids. Okay. There's an actress named Alexis Fields. That is Kim Fields' sister. And you would probably, if you're my age, like in your late 30s, she has been on the TV shows Alex Mack. She played Alex's friend Nicole. She played, I don't know how to pronounce this, I can't remember, Devion on Sister Sister. She played Charla on Kenan and Kel. And she played Alicia on Moesha. So, you know, I know that a lot of you know who she is. You might not remember her name, but you'd recognize her face if you saw her. I always liked The Cosby Show. I liked that Cliff would sit there and act like he was, like, letting his kids go on and on and on and talk. And then all of a sudden he'd be like, are you out of your mind? And, like, flip out. And when they did their random little singing things. Okay, getting back to the 70s, I really, really liked Welcome Back, Kotter for quite a while. You know, it's interesting. On What's Happening, you had a character named Dwayne, and his little catchphrase People sometimes get them mixed up. I forgot to mention. One of my favorite things on What's Happening was when they had to do, like, basically, like, they had to entertain their English class. I think it was English class. They had to do a skit or do a performance of some sort. And Dwayne did his own little dance around the room version of himself singing James Taylor's song, I'm Your Handyman. And it was just ridiculous, but I really liked it. Welcome Back Kotter had John Travolta, who was famous for really not paying attention, sitting there looking pretty and going, what? You had Epstein, who always had an excuse note from his mom on why he was late or why he couldn't take a test. Because if you don't know, Welcome Back Kotter took place in a high school, and it was like basically a class full of kind of, I guess you'd call them delinquents, I don't know. I mean, they weren't really that bad, and they weren't all stupid either, so it was weird. You had, again, Freddie Boom Boom Washington. You had Arnold Horshack, who was famous for putting his hand up in the air and going, ooh, 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 ooh. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, that's basically it. And Mr. Cotter, who tried to pretend that he was Charlie Chaplin. No, not Charlie Chaplin. Groucho Marx. And he would always tell his wife stupid jokes. And his wife, towards the end of the series, was kind of pushed to the side. And it was too bad because she was a really good actress. She played the mother in the Honey, I Shrunk the Kid movies. She died not too long ago, too. Another 80s TV show I really like is 227, about the residents in Building 227 in Washington, D.C. It starred Marla Gibbs, who played the Jeffersons' maid, Regina King, Alana Reed, who played, I believe it was Olivia on Sesame Street. Let's see, was there anybody else? Well, that's good enough for now. Oh, Jack A. I'm sorry, I can't forget Jack A. You know Jack A from 227, or Ladybugs. Love Jack A. Yeah, I don't know, I just really loved that show. Let's see. So the interesting thing about Welcome Back Kotter is that when I was in junior high, during the summers, Nick at Night would have Block Party Summer, where every day of the week was dedicated to a different TV show for a couple hours at night. And I think that they had changed the schedule on me. And I Love Lucy happened to show up in place of Welcome Back Kotter. And I was really mad. But the funny thing is that I had never actually sat through an episode of I Love Lucy. So I thought it was stupid and boring. And then I sat through an episode. Then I sat through another one. And another one. And before I knew it, I was buying all the VHS tapes they had out. I wanted an I Love Lucy doll. I wanted magnets, I wanted a lunchbox, like I wanted it all. Like, I was obsessed with Lucy. And I still love Lucy to this day. It's funny with Lucy, I thought a lot of the episodes, especially the Vita Vita Vegemin one, were so funny, but also I'd get this small little bit of anxiety because I was like, oh my god, Lucy, what are you doing? You're gonna get caught, and then Ricky's gonna yell and it's gonna be awkward. But I love Lucy. Let's see. I really like the TV show Whose Line Is It Anyway? That was funny in itself, but Google or YouTube the episode with Richard Simmons on it. Do it. I thought some of the episodes of Tiny Toon Adventures were pretty funny, especially the ones where Plucky Duck was little, and especially the one where his mother took him to the mall and he kept pressing the buttons on the elevator saying, "Elevator go up, elevator go down," and basically driving his mom nuts. And then she lost him and found him, but pulled back the blanket in his stroller and it wasn't really him. It was Babs Bunny. And she looked up at her and goes, "Hi, lady." And for some reason that cracked my sister and I up. Let's see. I really liked the TV show called Amen that had Sherman Hemsley, I think that's his name, George Jefferson from Amen. He played a deacon, and his daughter Thelma was like obsessed with the Reverend. And it was a cute show. I liked it. I really liked Mama's Family. Vicki Lawrence from the Carol Burnett Show kind of branched out and took her mama character from the Carol Burnett Show and made it her own TV show. And Carol Burnett would guest star as her daughter Eunice. Rue McLennan, who played Blanche on the Golden Girls, was on the first season as Mama's sister, Fran. Betty White from the Golden Girls would guest star as Mama's daughter, Ellen. It was really cheesy, but I thought it was cute. Let's see. I really like a lot of foreign TV shows. Like, I really liked the UK version of The Office, because even though the US version, had, like, oh my god, that's funny, when Michael would say something, the UK version, like, was so awkward. The humor was so awkward that, like, you kind of felt anxious, and that made me laugh. It's hard to explain. Like, the humor was different, but it was still funny to me. I really liked the 80s UK show called The Young Ones, about a bunch of college flatmates. I don't know that they were all in college, but passed away a couple years ago. And Rick was kind of like he was a jerk, or a bastard. They always called him a bastard. He was kind of like an activist type, like one of those annoying people that always calls people fascist pigs and stuff like that. You had Vivian, who was a punk. You had Mike, who was supposed to be kind of a ladies' man. And you had Neil, who was a hippie. And Neil would say things like, I'm gonna go upstairs and mark my astrological star chart. You know? It was like cheesy, stupid humor. Like off the wall weird things would happen. Like those of you who have seen Pee-wee's Playhouse, you know how when he opens up his fridge, like the food would be alive. There were weird things like that in this show, but it would be like the broom in the broom closet, or like an old sponge or something. And there was this one episode. Now, they were always being mean to Neil. Like, they took advantage of Neil. They expected him to clean and cook for them and stuff, and he was like too soft to stick up for himself. But it was funny because the place was always dirty and disgusting anyway, and they never really had any food to cook anyway. But like this little person like poofed into the scene, and I can't remember if he was supposed to be like a little demon or like an imp or something, but like he blipped into the scene and he did something naughty, and then he disappeared. And when he disappeared, like he left a smell behind. And Rick, who was reading a newspaper, is like, Neil, have you just farted? And Neil's like, no, I don't think so, Rick. And Rick's like, well, there's a horribly farty smell in here, and it's not coming from my bottom. And it was just ridiculous, but I thought it was the funniest thing ever. This has gone on way too long, and it did not turn out how I thought. I'm gonna upload it anyway. But I guess the last thing I'll talk about is just something that, I don't know, my sister and I always laugh about. Now, when she was really young, I can't even remember exactly how this happened, but like I think it was myself, my best friend, and my sister were all sitting on my bed, and my sister had a cookie in her hand, and she must have been jumping on the bed or something like that, and she jumped a little bit too much, and she fell, and like she hit her head, and she was howling her head off, and we're like, oh my god, oh my god. And all she cared about was her cookie. Like, she was howling, and we thought she hurt her head really bad, and she was like, my cookie. And we just laugh about that all the time. I cannot believe how long this video is. I really can't. No one is gonna watch it this long. I don't know, what can I say? I found it really hard to like describe these things, but I video out there because I haven't done one. Well, some more eating videos and bubble blowing and ghost story videos will be coming up, so catch you guys later. Can you hear the train? Kind of sounds like a plane is coming down or something.